Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing all of the weekend's Premier League and Championship action. And Joe, without further ado, let's get straight into the Saturday lunchtime Premier League game, where it finished Aston Villa 2, Everton 1 at Villa Park. And yeah, 2 goals for Villa, giving a 2-0 lead. Ings and Buendia. Just 1 minute after the Villa second goal, Digne scored an own goal, ironically against his former team, but Villa held on to the win, first win of the season, and yeah, it's a big win for them, quite a close game. I think Lampard will be disappointed not to come away with a point, but yeah, big win for Villa. Moving on then to Wolves and Fulham, who played out a 0-0 draw at Molineux. And yeah, I mean, like, in this game, not too much to separate the two sides, of course, but the main talking point was the missed penalty by Alexander Mitrovic in the 81st minute. So yeah, they'll be frustrated with that, because that was a real chance to get 3 big points. But for Fulham, you know, they've been competitive against 2 really good Premier League teams, so that's positive for them. Wolves, though, I think they'll be really disappointed with this. Moving on then, and Southampton recovered from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with Leeds at St Mary's. Rodrigo, with a second half brace, gave Leeds a 2-0 advantage, but goals from Aribo and Walker-Peters, equalled it for Southampton. And yeah, I'd say on the whole, the game, probably a draw was a fair result. Not much separation the two sides. Could be a big game towards the bottom come the end of the season, you never know. But yeah, Southampton, they'll be pleased to come back from 2 down. Leeds, so frustrated to let that lead slip. It was a walk in the park at the Etihad for Man City as they dismantled Bournemouth 4-0. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Foden and Lerma, an own goal, were the scorers for City. And yeah, like I say, City were just dominant here. I think we always knew that they would be. And yeah, the game kind of just went how we expected. Bournemouth, I mean, like, maybe they could be happy to keep damage down to 4, because yeah, like, they were never really competitive here, but at the same time, I doubt they really expected to. But moving on then to the Amex, and it finished Brighton 0, Newcastle 0 at the Amex, already said that. But yeah, anyway, Brighton, I think they'll be wondering how they didn't score in this game. They had by far the better of the play. 13 goal attempts compared to Newcastle's 4, 7 shots on goal, Newcastle's 1, etc, etc. And yeah, it's just kind of that issue that Brighton have had in the last few years. They've been creating chances, but they just can't pick them away. Clinical at the back. So yeah, Newcastle definitely the happiest side here. But anyway, moving on then to the Emirates, where it finished Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Jesus with a brace in the first half gave Arsenal a 2-0 lead before a Saliba own goal pulled it back, and then Xhaka scored again. Maddison pulled another one back, but Martinelli just a minute later put Arsenal with 2-0 2-goal concussion again. And yeah, on the whole, Arsenal definitely deserving of the win. Really solid victory for them. Jesus is looking like he's transforming there, and yeah, that's a big win. Leicester, though, frustrating, but this is always going to be a 3 hit. But anyway, moving on then to Brentford 4, Manchester United 0, and yes, you heard that right. Even more shockingly, all goals came in the first half. De Silva, Jensen, Mee and Mbeumo were the goals. And yeah, what can you say? This was just absolutely ridiculous. United just an absolute shambles. Brentford making them pay, and yeah, just an incredible result. Ten Hag, I just don't know if he realised this was the scale of the challenge he was walking into. Yeah, just absolutely incredible Saturday evening football. I mean, like, yeah, enough of that. Moving on then to Sunday's action, and starting off with Nottingham Forest 1, West Ham 0. The only goal of the game came in the stoppage time first half for Nottingham Forest. Declan Rice had a key moment in the second half when he missed a penalty in the 65th minute. West Ham also did have an own goal disallowed for a rather silly foul involving Mikel Antonio. But on the whole, yeah, I'd say maybe a draw is a fair result here. Forest hung in there, maybe weren't having a win, but you know, in the end they got it, and that's all that matters. Huge win for them. West Ham 2 defeats from 2, though disappointing start to the season. It was a fiery London derby at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea drew 2-2 with Tottenham. 2 new signings combining for Chelsea's first goal, Cucurella and Koulibaly, before Højbjerg equalised. James in the 77th minute put Chelsea back ahead again, and Kane equalising in the last kick of the game, and that kicked off a right confrontation between Conte and Tuchel, which saw both managers get sent off. Yeah, entertaining that. But yeah, a bit stupid, but you know, it's what we love in our football. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I'd say Chelsea will be frustrated not to win that. But moving on then to the Monday night football, and that was Liverpool 1, Crystal Palace 1. Wolf Zaha in the 32nd minute gave Palace the lead, rather against the run of play really, because Liverpool dominated in the early proceedings. Then Darwin Núñez, for a stupid headbutt, I don't know what he was thinking, was sent off in the 57th minute, really stupid. Diaz, fortunately for them, equalised 4 minutes later. Liverpool pushed for the winner, but in the end couldn't get it, and they had to settle for a point. And yeah, Núñez, just what an idiot here. Palace will be delighted, but Liverpool already 4 points behind City, not looking good. Moving on then to the Championship, and starting off on Friday night with Watford 1, Burnley 0. Tom Cleverley with the only goal of the game in first half stoppage time. And yeah, on the whole, I would say Burnley will be definitely frustrated with that. Probably had the better of the game. But Watford have that clinical edge, and considering the start they've had this season with all the tough games they had, I think they'll be absolutely delighted with their start. They'll be so happy with that. But for Burnley, this will be a frustrating one. But anyway, then moving on then to Saturday's games in the Championship, and starting off at the Cardiff City Stadium, where it finished Cardiff 1, Birmingham 0. Cardiff took in the 17th minute, and in the end that was enough to see them through. And yeah, Birmingham were really poor here, nothing like the side we saw in the first two games under John Eustace. Really dominant win for Cardiff this one. Birmingham didn't even have a shot on goal, and yeah, Cardiff inconsistent, lose to Reading but beat the other two teams with ease, including Norwich. So yeah, they just need to find some consistency. But anyway, then moving on then to Blackpool 0, Swansea 1 at Bloomfield Road. And yeah, Jerry Yates missed a penalty in the 50th minute for Blackpool before Oliver Natchem made them pay for that in the 87th minute with a goal for the Swans. And yeah, on the balance of play, I'd say Swansea just about deserved the win here, and after a slow start to the season, that's a big win for them. But Blackpool missing a penalty at home and still losing, that's going to be a bitter pill to swallow for them. Moving on then to Wigan, and they drew 1-1 at home to Bristol City. Weimann with the goal in the 6th minute gave Bristol City the lead before Wilkie in the 67th minute gave Wigan the equaliser. And on the balance of play, I would say Wigan were the better side here and maybe deserved the victory. But on the whole, not a bad point for Bristol City on the road. Wigan, like I say, probably will be frustrated they couldn't get all 3 points here. And still not a terrible result really, but will want to get that first win of the season. You could say still unbeaten, not a bad start at all for them. And yeah, Bristol City getting off the mark, I think they'll be pleased too. Moving on then to Stadium of Light, where it finished Sunderland 2, QPR 2. Stewart and Sims gave Sunderland a 2-0 lead in the first half before Elias Chair in the 87th minute pulled one back, and surely yes, Senny Dieng, the QPR goalkeeper, in the 92nd minute equalising. Is that Allison? No, it's not, it's Senny Dieng. And yeah, unbelievable scenes. But yeah, for QPR, a great point, 2-0 down the 87th minute. They'll be absolutely buzzing with that. Sunderland, on the other hand, yeah, you can't let that sort of lead slip. But anyway, moving on then to Rotherham, as they thrashed Reading 4-0. Reading's keeper did have a bit of a mare here in the first half. Wood, Washington, Lindsay and Ogbene all scoring before half time. And yeah, in the second half, wasn't much going on, but the damage was done in the first half. And yeah, what a brilliant win for Rotherham this was. 4 points from their 2 games now. They'll be absolutely delighted with that. But Reading so poor. Maybe need to change the goalkeeper here based on this game as well. Moving on then to Millwall 3, Coventry 2 at the Den. McFarlane gave Coventry the lead in the 2nd minute, and Godden in the 28th minute made it 2, before Cooper, Honeyman and Saville made it 3-2 to Millwall. Hamer also got sent off in the 67th minute for Coventry, but yeah, for Millwall coming down from 2 goals to win is an incredible result for them. Coventry, quite the opposite, a real clutch for them. They'll be absolutely gutted with that, because yeah, this is a game which they really should have won, let alone get a point from really. Moving on then to Luton 0, Preston 1 at Kenilworth Road. And yeah, words can't do justice to this Brad Potts goal. Just absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it yet, go and search it up, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Just a ridiculous goal from him. Not much more you can say really. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I think Luton will be frustrated because they did have more of the game, you'd say, but Preston made it count, were more clinical, got more shots on the way, and they deserved their win. Brilliant victory for them. And yeah, Luton just need to get going really, because they haven't done so far. Moving on into another team that hasn't got going, and that's Norwich, and they were defeated 2-1 by Hull at the KCOM Stadium. And yeah, Hull two goals lead. Núñez pulled one back for Norwich in the second half in the 72nd minute, but in the end they couldn't get that goal, and maybe despite having more shots on goal, etc, they couldn't get anything from it. And yeah, they're now bottom of the league. Absolutely incredible. Hull though, all the way up in second, absolutely delighted with that. What a start for them. Moving on then to Huddersfield, and they defeated Stoke 3-1 at Huddersfield at the John Smith Stadium. Lewis Baker missed a penalty for Stoke in the 21st minute, and Huddersfield made them pay in the 40th minute, taking the lead. Baker made amends though, scoring in the 56th minute, but later on Ward and Rhodes with a goal for Huddersfield and getting their crucial first points, because it's been a tough start to the season for them, so those are big points. Stoke though, with the raw form Huddersfield were on, I think they'll be really disappointed to go here and lose like that. Moving on then to Sunday's action in the Championship, and that was Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield United 2. Sander Berge and Chuba Akpom with goal apiece in the first half to make it 1-1, and then Giles with an own goal gave Sheffield United the lead, but Akpom again in the second half for Middlesbrough, making it 2-2. And on the whole, I'd say a draw was a fair result between two teams that you'd really expect them to be up there. Middlesbrough playing some lovely stuff, and yeah, in the end, not much to separate them in the Chris Wilder derby. And finally, Blackburn were the only team to maintain their 100% record as they defeated West Brom 2-1. Boris and Diaz and Gallagher gave Blackburn a 2-0 lead either side of half time before Dian Garner in the 59th minute equalled things up gave West Brom a consolation goal, but in the end, despite piling on the pressure late on, they couldn't do it, and Blackburn maintained their record with the lowest actually in the league, which is an incredible stat, so maybe it won't last, but Blackburn just being absolutely clinical. Brilliant start for them, but for West Brom, yeah, this was a disappointing one. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. So like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below, follow us for daily football news, and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!